Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the PC, and this is my solo Inconceivable difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 5-3. It is entitled Gatecrashers. So this is a beautiful chapter, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't have as many problems as I did last time, because on Insane difficulty versus Inconceivable difficulty, I think you get put down a little bit faster, but I honestly can't remember. It's been a year and a half. I have no idea how many times I died last time. Let's just go over the basic controls for when you're in the mech here. Firing is the normal firing, left trigger plus right trigger. You also have the ability to hold the left bumper and aim with the right analog stick to paint targets for your air support to fire at. And with both the gun and the rockets, at this point though, you cannot use the air support, because you would know that you could if it had the rockets right next to the gun icon on the top right. So you're not going to be using the air support quite yet. You're just going to be using the industrial staple gun to kill everybody. There's a stomp with this. I never used it. I mean, I use it a little bit, but I don't really think it has much of a utility on this particular chapter. You can roadie run. You can snap into cover. You can do the SWAT turn. You can do a little jump that is the robot's equivalent of a dash or a roll, excuse me. And the checkpoints are very fair on this chapter, so it's not going to be checkpoints that you're struggling with. It's probably going to be not knowing exactly what is hitting you. And you can also duck while you're in cover too. So a lot of the things that you can do as a human, you can do as a robot, which is really interesting. So they give you more flexibility than you would think that you would have. And now you see we've got a snatcher on top of that tower where the bell thing is there, with the arch on it. And notice that you've got 6 rockets. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 6. So you can fire, I think, as many up to 3 targets at a single time. And when you run out of rockets, it's just a cooldown process, and they'll gradually get replaced. So you can't just go hog wild with the rockets, and likewise with the staple gun. You have to keep cooling it down. And I think the hardest parts are going to be any part with a Swarmac on it, because the Swarmacs take a hell of a lot of damage to kill, and rightly so, I guess. But just shooting the blisters with this industrial staple gun, it shouldn't. I guess it's just for balance. It's a balance conceit, so I completely understand. Anyway, after these bridges are destroyed, you're going to be running over here, and there should be a Harambe coming down this hill. There he is. Howdy, Harambe. Didn't know you were still alive, motherfucker. So then just come on up here, glue yourself to cover, and just aim right over them. So it's a very simple process. It doesn't feel too intuitive because of the fact that it's handled in most part by the air support. So you're just targeting. You're not really firing. So there's a certain amount of it's like just aiming with the gun and having somebody else fire for you. So it doesn't feel too satisfying, but you'll know when you play this game that foliage in the way again. Is foliage ever not in the way of any game that I play? It's unbelievable. But far and away, the air support is just crucial for dealing heavy damage. The Swarmacs, you're going to have to use the air support on. Right over here. Here's the first Swarmac. I'm going to sprint over here to the right. If he fires a barrage of missiles at you, you're dead. The mech just disintegrates. So I had real problems on this boss. I died a few times because I was staying to the left, and he was actually flanking me over there. So I decided, well, let's just try to go over to the right, and it worked out a little bit better. There's a couple of trees in the way here too that interfere with your targeting. Ideally what you would want to do is just use full advantage of the rockets. Just use all the rockets at first, and then when you're waiting for those to regen, the key really here is not to use the staple gun too much, but to use the cover and wait for the rockets to keep regenerating. Here it's having a little conflict of not knowing whether I want to go into cover or not. I mean, by all means, use a staple gun to destroy the blisters, guys, but anytime there's an availability to use a rocket, just use it, because it could be that last crucial rocket that you need to destroy the Brumac. And you also don't have to use a staple gun to destroy the blisters. You can use your the air support to do that. So you don't even have to use a staple gun on this boss, but it does do some work, you know, while you're waiting for your rockets to regen. And this chapter is just flat out fun. It reminds me of at the end of Gears of War 2 when you're on the Brumac. I'm not sure why Gears of War 2 didn't have a final boss. It's kind of baffling to me, but when this thing gets stunned and it has the execution prompt, it's so satisfying to run up to it and just tear it apart. It's very satisfying. They did a fantastic job with this level. And I'm almost positive that Claudia Black is one of the voice actresses over here, or the voice actors. I'm not sure why they don't call actresses actresses all the time. They call actresses actors, and I thought actor was male, actress was female. I guess a lot of people who are actors and who are female, they don't mind just being called actors, but I don't know. Also, how do you feel about this? Say, for instance, like you have a shortened version of your name, and do you kind of find it offensive if, say, for instance, your name is Joseph, and people just, they call you Joe without really asking you what you prefer? I kind of find that offensive. Not that that's my name, but I'm just giving you that as an example. If you, like, wrote on forums that your name is Joseph, and people just flat out calling you Joe without really asking you, like, is it Joseph or Joe? Like, that's what I would always do. I would always ask, what shall I call you? You know? Even, I also think it's insulting to, and I'm not trying to be like a social justice warrior. I also think that it is a little bit also presumptuous to call a woman a Mrs. if you don't know her marital status, because if you call her a Mrs., that implies that she's married. So I think it's the safe thing to do is just to say Miss. That's what I always do anyway. But I definitely am not a social justice warrior. I don't think that, you know, it's the right thing to do. It's not beneficial for a lot of people to be, like they want to categorize themselves as a gender other than male, or what is it? Let's see. No, the sex is male and female. Whether your gender, that has to do with more of your identity, not your biological identity, right? So anyway, we're getting way off topic over here. A couple of snatchers, just mow them down with the rockets. Anyway, just there's a lot of you know, too, if I'm in a bus or something too, and I've seen personally, because I'll watch a lot of black and white movies, and the values have deteriorated so much over the years. You know, in days of yore, you know, if you were on a bus and a woman was standing there, it doesn't matter if she's pregnant or not, or what it is, you know, you give up your seat for a woman, and I know that might be insulting, or you hold the door for a woman. It's just polite, you know. I can understand if someone getting offended. Well, I can open a door for myself, or I can stand here for a woman on a bus, but you know, at least err on the side of being polite, because most people will appreciate your being polite. you know. Anyway, so this is just about the conclusion of the chapter. I think the only thing we have left to do is to deal with the final Swarmak. These Swarmaks are quite annoying, but yeah, why no why no Gears of War 2 final boss? I guess a game doesn't have to have a final boss. Certainly, if you're going to make a final boss, don't ruin it like the Gears of War 3 final boss and have it, you know, notoriously bad. But anyway, here's the Swarmak. I did die, I think, maybe once to this thing, and my mistake was I thought that I should. You could also, did I mention you can do the SWAT turn? I probably did. But yeah, focus on the blisters. They take an amount of damage that shouldn't, you know, exist with you being in this particular. I mean, again, it's a balance conceit, and I understand, so it's no problem. So basically, you know, just keep using the rockets over and over again. Let them regenerate when you have access to them. Use them, and you could also use the aiming over the left shoulder cover trick that I patented. And you know, just keep staying at a distance from him. Keep putting cover in between you and him. And I'm not sure if he can get out of his stun. I think he probably could. That's probably something that when you know that he's about to fall, make sure that you're not too far away from him so that you could sprint over to him. I don't know personally. I've never tested it, so you know, just make sure that he's not too far away from you when you think that the fight is about to be over. And at this point, it is definitely over. I will see you guys in the final video, and then that will be over as well too. Bittersweet, isn't it? Anyway, take care.